So what are the sources of vitamin D? There are three categories. One is the food sources. Second, the supplements. And the third, the sun. Different food sources have different amount of vitamin D, and there are very few food sources that have vitamin D. So I have referred to three different organizations. The first one is National Institute of Health, and they publish their own sources of vitamin D. Then we have another one which is Health.gov, and they have collected data from US Department of Agriculture, which I will also show. And the third one is an Endocrine society, which they also give different sources of food that you can get vitamin D from. Let's go to National Institute of Health, which I think is quite professional. So they have tabled a lot of food sources. For example, a cod liver oil, 1 tablespoon will give you 34 micrograms of vitamin D, which is 170% of your daily intake. In other words, it would be enough to take 1 tablespoon of cod liver oil. Other sources are trout, salmon, mushroom, white, raw, sliced, and exposed to UV light. This is important that it should be exposed to UV light, especially UVB, and it needs to be half a cup to give you 9.2 micrograms of vitamin D. Milk, but milk needs to be fortified. On its own, it doesn't have vitamin D. So if you're from other countries other than US, you need to check your local milk to understand whether it is actually fortified or not. So don't assume that it is fortified. Then we have sardines, and the rest is not even worth mentioning. I will provide a link to all these three sources in the description. Throughout human beings' evolution, sun was the major source of vitamin D, which makes absolute sense since plenty of it is available in Africa, where humans were originated from. As people started to immigrate to the north, the less UVB radiation was available. That is why the skin of people living in the north started producing lower levels of melanin, skin protection pigment, in order to synthesize more vitamin D. Hence, people with the darker skin get fewer cases of skin cancer than people with lighter skin. For example, above and below latitudes of approximately 33 degrees, vitamin D synthesis in the skin is very low or absent during most of the winter, and only from early April to the end of the September, between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., your body could synthesize vitamin D. This is because UVB radiation is essential for producing vitamin D. The longer and through more atmosphere the UVB radiation passes, the weaker it gets. When an adult wearing a bathing suit exposed to UV radiation so that a slight pinkness to the skin appears 24 hours after exposure, the amount of vitamin D produced is equivalent to ingesting between 10,000 and 25,000 IU. No need to mention that exposure to UV radiation can cause skin cancer, skin aging, and eye damage. Therefore, it leaves us no other choice but with vitamin D supplements. As the name suggests, vitamin D supplements should be taken to supplement vitamin D intake from other sources. They come in various forms, such as liquid or solid. Both have advantages and disadvantages. For example, it is easier to share liquid vitamin D supplement among various family members, as it is easier to modify the dosage. It also may be preferable for people with digestion problems. Disadvantages of liquid form could be the loss of ingredient due to more unstable nature of liquid environment and its storage. At the same time, the risk with a solid pill is that it might not break apart and fully release its ingredients. I myself take 25 micrograms to 50 micrograms per day, which is way above what is recommended, but still within the tolerable upper limit. In the end of the day, the most important factor for understanding the correct amount of vitamin D supplements is the level of 25-hydroxy D3 in the blood. It is because the conversion to active form of vitamin D is a complicated process, which are affected by the skin color, availability of the UVB radiations, food, intestinal absorption, and metabolic activation. Cod liver oil could be used as a vitamin D supplement, but in large doses there is a risk of vitamin A toxicity. How to take vitamin D supplements? Take your vitamin D with a meal and preferably in the morning. Do not take on an empty stomach or at night. Higher vitamin D levels suppresses melatonin and can disturb your sleep. In one study, it has been shown that people having more than 32 nanograms per milliliter of 25-hydroxy-D3 will have less quality sleep. Factors that adversely affect the absorption of vitamin D are sunscreen. It blocks the UVB radiation that are essential for the production of vitamin D by the skin. Melanin content of your skin. The fairer your skin color, the more quickly you can produce vitamin D when exposed to UVB radiations. Age. The older you get, the harder it gets for the body to produce vitamin D. Your body fat percentage. Since vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, the more fat you have, the less vitamin D is available for the rest of your body. And obviously, medications also can affect the absorption of vitamin D. I hope this video was useful. If it was, please don't forget to watch my other videos on my left and to subscribe to support my channel. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.